You're listening to Bizarre Buffet, a podcast of all-you-can-eat weird. I'm your host, Mark Torriello.
I'm Jen Wilson.
And I'm Mark Bluestein.
There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
When we first went in, one of the people said, "Who are you?" And Tex said, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business."
Happy New Year!
Happy fucking New Year!
Happy fucking New Year from Bizarre Buffet.
And Happy New Year from the Brides Beaches. Jen Wilson's engaged.
Yes, I am.
Oh my God, show your ring.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We're so happy.
We love you both.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I wanted to get all three of us Brides Beaches glasses since all three of us are brides to be.
We are. Oh my
And
God.
this is sarcasm here.
Yes.
It's all
we are
sarcasm.
not-
Yes, this is just part of our humor. If you've been listening to us, you probably realize that by now. But in
Yeah.
case you don't,
We're drinking celebratory cocktails out
Yes.
of these cups that say Brides Beaches.
Since
Yeah.
we're all out of quarantine.
we are. We're all out of quarantine. We're all out of the COVID. Get down with the COVID sickness.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
What a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
Some of us may or may not have had COVID.
Yeah, some of us may or may not have had the Roni.
Yeah, we're keeping confidentiality.
HIPAA laws.
HIPAA laws. That's right. We can't violate those.
Wait, I can't say to people that I had COVID?
Well, no, you can. You can't out
It's
other
your-
people.
Yeah. It was
It was me. It was the three of us.
we're so horny
It's
for
all
it.
us.
So horny for the Roni.
I know.
But just for the record, we did not give it to each other.
We did not.
We all got it.
We did
like,
it. It probably would have been much
But
more exciting if we
I
had given it
did
to each other.
text
But
you both to tell you, hey, I'm online to get a COVID test because I'm pretty sure I have it.
I know.
FYI.
I know. And then so Jen was the first man down, Mark, and then me.
You were the first one?
I mean,
Well, I think I was the first one to
know.
To know.
yes, yeah. I think that's about right.
And it's funny because the week before I had like multiple COVID scares, and each time I smoked it out and I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about this is I feel like the last
then I got
episode that we did with Brucey Claus, where we talked about how we hate the holidays, like we kind of all got our wish to
Not do anything.
anything for the
yeah,
holidays.
it's true. Dreams do come true,
Yeah.
people.
They do.
They do.
Side note, I mean, COVID is no fucking joke.
It's not.
It's no joke. We're vaccinated
And boosted.
We are.
And I haven't got. Well, I was supposed to get boosted this week. Well, I was planning on
We
it.
were planning on it. Okay.
And instead, I got the ultimate boost of getting COVID.
You got a real boost, all right.
But I will
Don't trust the home tests. Go
No.
for a PCR, please, and
Yeah.
thank you.
get
Absolutely.
vaccinated for
Get
Christ's sake.
vaccinated for
Absolutely.
fucking
Wear a fucking
Christ's
mask.
sake.
Yeah, really. You know, people.
It hurt
Yeah.
to breathe in.
Yeah.
And every time I coughed, I wanted to cry.
Well, my low back just hurt a
I know.
lot.
I didn't know that was even a thing.
That's
and now
like
I'm like,
with
that's
this
awful.
new variant.
Omicron.
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 It sounds doesn't Omicron sound like a carnival ride, like the Gravitron?
Yes. Oh my God.
The
What the
Omicron.
worst carnival ride ever.
The worst
Carnival ride in the world.
You leave with COVID.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get all horny with it.
I mean, we spent New Year's like dying.
I was
Yeah.
me and
New Year's
Jerry
Eve.
were asleep before fucking midnight.
I know. And Jen gets the surprise of a beautiful ring, right?
That was on Christmas
That
Eve.
was on Christmas Eve. But I mean, all the things that just transpired. I mean, God, what a whirlwind.
I know. I'm like, this is the worst Christmas
Worst-
ever.
Worst Christmas in the world.
And then
And then
that
it
happened.
wasn't.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
No. It was great. It was a wonderful surprise. I did not know it was happening.
Well, we love it. Wish Jen Wilson at Zen Wilson a congratulations.
Aw, thanks, guys.
Because she deserves it, and we love her and Jer. Should we get into little things here?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, everybody. Well, we've been missing for about a week's time, maybe at this point. I don't know.
We're in a
or
new
two.
year.
Yeah, and
New year, new me.
Oh fuck yeah!
yeah.
New year, new me. So horny. You
For the
know.
resolution.
For the fucking resolutions. Well, speaking of, you could all probably surmise how we feel about New Year's resolutions.
Well, I'm just the same foul-mouthed fucking bitch. that
Brides
I was-
Beaches.
Brides Beaches
Fucking-
from last year.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Live, laugh, love.
Right? Live, laugh, love.
She believed she could, so she did.
Dance in the kitchen.
Oh my
Kitchens for
Boss
dancing.
bitch.
Boss bitch.
And
Most important.
brides, beaches.
Brides, fucking beaches. Always, all days.
I hate those fucking boss bitch mugs.
Oh, God.
I know.
They're the worst. I know. Just talk about it anyway for those who maybe know or don't know. Do you guys believe in going to the gym for the new year?
No, because here's the thing. Like, these resolutions set people up for fucking failure. Like, I want to lose 20 pounds by March. Like, you're setting yourself up for fucking failure. Or like, I want to ride my Peloton every day for the entire year.
You're
It's like the pressure, like you're putting more pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
I don't
great.
have a Peloton.
No, I wish I have the appeal for a Peloton, but I
They
also
take up so much room.
yeah.
Yeah, but I like did like the Peloton app and I had a bike and just did it.
How did you
Oh,
feel
that's
about the
smart.
app?
I liked it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, I
Give it a
like the
shot.
idea of it for sure.
Yeah. You have to have the space for it though.
Yeah, that's difficult because, you know, our other room is podcasts, Mark's Design Studio, our
And
green
Gizmo's
room,
headquarters.
Gizmo's headquarters. Like we have a lot happening. So
We do.
Peloton may not be in the
It's not in the cards.
No, it's not.
It's not in the architectural
Yeah.
design.
yes of our modest home. So
I think like New Year's resolutions are just silly because it's like, why wait till the fucking New Year? Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do
if you
it.
want to do something, do it.
You know?
I agree.
In regards of New Year's resolutions, I was like, well, I have insurance benefits or like healthcare that I pay for.
yeah, of course.
And you know how I feel like healthcare is a big scam.
Yeah, well, we had to listen to Mark on the phone for the last 30 minutes.
you all
I
should
know.
have been there.
But like part of my resolution, I was like, well, fuck it. I'm paying for these benefits, so I'm going to use them. And I'm trying to get myself a prescription for Propecia.
yes.
Tell everybody-
Sponsor us,
Tell everybody
Propecia.
what Propecia is if they don't know.
It allegedly prevents hair loss, but like you can't buy it. Like a doctor needs to prescribe it. So I had a virtual appointment, like stand me up tonight.
Yeah.
And then I had a doctor call me, and they won't prescribe me the Propecia. I need to get blood work done.
Yeah.
Because they don't believe that I'm losing hair
I-
because I'm so beautiful.
You are
That's
so
right.
beautiful.
That's right.
You're
You are
glowing.
beautiful,
So
glowing.
that's my New Year's resolution to get Propecia
Propecia.
and cool sculpting.
Oh yes.
Cool sculpting is really cool.
Well,
Love
I've
them.
never tried it. I've heard really good things about it though.
yeah. Mark's an advocate.
Yeah, I've done it twice.
Yeah, he's done it twice.
Twice.
Okay.
And the fat does not go, knock on wood, but the fat doesn't go in that area anymore.
Oh, good.
Oh,
It damaged.
it
your-
goes
It
to my gut.
damaged it enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
I'd rather the
I want
fat.
some. We should all go together.
We should.
I'd
Maybe
rather
we'll
a
like
gut than
hold
love handles.
hands.
we can hold hands, do hot girl shit,
Hot
and
girl cool
maybe
sculpting.
maybe record an episode while we're cool sculpting.
Yeah, let us know if that's something you'd like to hear. I think that would be great. Maybe we can get a Groupon.
Yeah,
Groupon me.
sponsor us, Groupon.
Yeah, please. We need some help.
Please.
We do.
Please, please,
We're
please.
fucking trying out here, okay? What do you feel about like dieting fads?
Well, I'm trying to lose weight,
Yeah.
and I had a can of soup for lunch at work, and I was very proud of myself. It was just chicken noodle soup.
Oh wow.
But then after work, I went to the Dunkin' Donuts, and I got a strawberry frosted donut.
You gluttonous whore.
So
Sorry.
See, but I believe everything in moderation.
That is true.
So it's like, all right, you have like pizza for lunch, like no Chinese food for dinner, or like,
Yeah, in theory, yes. I abide by a different set of
like-
rules.
it's not happening.
you know, like have a donut during the day, fuck the ice cream at night, you know,
Yeah.
like everything in moderation.
Yeah.
I just, again, the fucking added pressure that people put on themselves when it comes to dieting.
Absolutely. And Jen, you gave me a perfect, beautiful segue there, and I thank you for it. She's a professional, y'all. I
am.
appreciate it. I really do. Well,
I'm really expensive too, so
she is. Inquire within
Inquire
for pricing. DM within. This goes back a very, very long time. It goes back to something called holy anorexia. Do you guys know any? Like, I know you know a little bit.
Well, I found the book on your dresser.
I outed myself, but then Jen was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I saw the book. It said Holy Anorexia. I like pulled it up. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
And the book looks like a Bible.
It does look like a
It's
Bible.
like the same format.
I was enjoying scanning. Mark was scammed.
well, it is a scam.
Scanning through the pictures.
Yeah. Yes.
And the descriptions were very lovely.
Oh, they were. Now, for some of you who may not know what this is exactly, I'm going to explain it to you all. Holy anorexia is essentially just another name for anorexia, but in association with saints.
Oh.
And from early like 1400s, 1600s. So we're gonna get into it and show
So we're
you
going
all.
back to the Middle Ages.
We're going fucking dark
So it's
ages,
Dark
bitch.
Age, bubonic plague.
Fucking horny for that.
Oh my god.
So we're basically talking about like the Karen Carpenters of the Catholic community.
Exactly.
in the Middle Ages.
The Middle Ages.
Yes, and in the wonderful book Holy Anorexia, which a lot of these references are
Oh
pulled
my
from, that
God.
Jen had the
I
lovely
found
pleasure.
a beautiful picture that is now Mark's picture when he calls me.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I was like, this is beautiful. We'll post a photo for you all later so you can enjoy what we enjoyed together, and we'll do it all at once.
And listen, we are not here to make fun of eating disorders.
No, absolutely
It's
not.
just-
Eating
It's
disorders.
just the most bizarre thing that I think that I've seen in a really long time.
And on fucking perfectly put for all of us to discuss because it's very bizarre. So actually in the book Holy Anorexia by Rudolph M. Bell, it is here. It's our new
if
Bible.
you are watching on YouTube, you can see me
Yeah.
holding it up
You
over
can
my
see
head.
Jen.
Oh.
She has risen with Holy Anorexia. So he essentially makes the comparison in the beginning of the book, like what does Karen Carpenter and other, basically notable celebrities who had eating disorders have in common with these biblical,
Like different saints.
yeah, exactly.
What do they have in
really-
common?
Yeah, I'm really horny to know.
Oh my God. Well, what they have in common is that it is basically surmised that saints had anorexia nervosa. And
Okay.
the book in itself is basically, consisting of the comparisons as to why these saints had really, I guess you could say the earliest documented cases of anorexia, but how it's posed and how it's used in historical context
Okay.
is kind of
So instead of them saying it's an eating disorder,
like you're close to
they're
Jesus.
saying you're fasting.
Yes,
wait.
essentially.
So it's not being looked at as like a sin. It's being looked at as like a way to connect with God.
Yeah.
They're saying.
Absolutely. But there
Okay.
is controversy within that as well, because
Okay.
even though that was used as, exactly what you just said, a way to connect with God, it was actually frowned down upon in a lot
Some
of.
the pictures that I've seen in here look a little sinful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The depictions are they're peculiar. They're
are.
bizarre.
They're very bizarre.
Yeah.
Bizarre buffet.
Yeah. Holy anorexia is also known as anorexia mirabilis. I hope I pronounced that right. And that's the Latin meaning for the miraculous lack of appetite. Miraculous, yes.
I need that.
So this was a phenomenon that occurred among young women during the Middle Ages.
So before there was diet pills.
Oh, yeah. Karen Carpenter, she didn't exist back then.
Someone once told me that I looked like Karen Carpenter, and I wasn't sure if I should take that as like a compliment or not.
She was pretty.
She was, but I
Yeah.
was like,
it's like, are you calling me too thin?
what are you saying?
Yeah,
exactly.
what are you trying
Someone
to-
once said I looked like her, and I was like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say thank you.
I would be very confused as
I
well.
would be- yeah, I was very confused.
On a very surface level, she was very pretty. So
was.
let's go with
All
compliment.
right, let's go with compliment.
Yeah, I'll take it. The holy anorexics were highly regarded as women of almost supernatural piety, and some were even canonized or made into saints for their dedication.
Yes.
So, yeah, fuck yeah, horny. So, self-starvation was common among religious women as a way to imitate the suffering of Jesus in his torments during the Passion. What's the Passion, Mark? You went to Catholic school.
So the Passion it's like the
crucifixion.
the crucifixion
death of
story
Christ.
of Jesus. So it starts from like the Last Supper, where his friend Judas betrayed him, to Jesus being arrested, and then him carrying the cross, being crucified, and then him resurrecting from the tomb.
Wow. Thank you for all of those. You know, we're non-religious, but
Yes.
I mean, Mark knows probably more.
He knows more than me.
I was in Catholic
Yeah.
school my whole life.
Yeah.
I went to Catholic school for a hot second. You definitely know more than I do.
And my parents, God bless them.
Hi, Pete and Marie.
They're very religious.
I know,
but they're
my-
not. My parents are cool religious. They're not
My
like
mom
they're
wants
not like the mom
me
from
to get
Carrie.
married by a priest.
Yes.
She doesn't listen to this episode, so
Yeah, I don't-
sorry, Mom,
yeah.
it's not going to happen.
Like, just for the record, my parents go to a church where like
Men,
they do gay-
women can be priests.
women can be priests. They do like gay marriages.
Bring your
you can bring your
pets.
pet and get blessed. So
Oh
like,
yeah, my mom's church too. They're Episcopalian.
I love it. You know what? If you're going to be a religious, I feel like those are good ones to be.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, out of all the options.
So it's called the American Catholic Church.
Oh, shout out.
I think that's
yeah,
what it
let
is.
us know if you want to sponsor this
But
episode.
also, we might not be like the best spokespeople for it because
Probably
like
not.
I hate.
Yeah, I don't know if
I
they
hate
would
religion.
I don't know if they would appreciate this topic.
Probably not.
Yeah. Well, anorexia mirabilis is primarily characterized by the refusal to eat, resulting in starvation, malnutrition, and oftentimes death. But it differs from anorexia nervosa in that the disease is associated with religion as opposed to personal aesthetics.
Okay.
Although this behavior was usually not approved by religious authorities as a holy one. So generally they were like, we see you. Okay, cool. But like, we don't really think this is the best
there's
thing.
some religions where fasting, depending on like the holiday or the religious, whatever the religious occasion is, fasting is a requirement. So like I know, like for example, like with Muslims in Ramadan, they fast, I believe, for like an entire month.
Yeah, yeah. So
At like from like sunrise
to like
to sunset, and then you
Yeah.
can eat at sunset.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I don't think any loving God would make you
And
fast
there's-
and
Yeah.
starve yourself.
One of the Jewish holidays, either Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah.
yeah, you're right. One
is
of
a
them.
fasting holiday.
But
Yeah.
even with like I think like Catholicism or Christianity or whatever, like you have a period of time called Lent, and
Yeah.
you can't have meat on Fridays.
No meat on Fridays. I remember like it's always like a fish and chips on Friday or
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah. Non-meat stuff.
But again, like speaking about Lent and like fasting, like you're also like giving something up, like
Yeah.
kind of like a New Year's resolution. Like, you know, I'm not going to eat chocolate for the whole month. Or
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch TV.
Full circle, Jen. New Year's resolutions. There you go.
There you go.
It comes full circle. So now, documentation exists regarding about 2/3 of the holy women officially regarded by the Roman Catholic Church as saints, blesseds, and venerables, or servants of God, and who lived after 1200 AD, showing that more than half of these displayed clear signs of anorexia, with extensive and highly reliable documentation being available for about 24 of them. So now there's documentation that they have that essentially what this is saying that is extensive enough where they can say, we know at least had this disorder.
Okay.
For sure. There are others mentioned, but I guess for the sake of accuracy or historical accuracy to, you know, the best of their abilities, that's what they can come up with.
Right.
So it was pretty common. I guess when you're dealing with things that are so old, it's kind of, you know, difficult to prove,
Yeah.
you know, many things. But so let's get into some examples that are bizarre and well-documented saints who are
Yeah.
known to suffer from the
Tell us some weird
illness.
shit that they did, because I know that there's a lot of practices that are quite unethical.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have some pictures here too.
We do. And Jen, do you want to tell us about Catherine of Siena?
Oh, yes, I would love to tell you about Catherine of Siena. So, Catherine of Siena from 1347 to 1380.
Horny.
Was known to fast for long periods of time, and towards the end of her life, when her disease was at its worst, the only food that she consumed was a single host given to her as part of the daily Eucharist. Mark, can you explain to us what a host and the daily Eucharist is?
Okay.
Mark has a lot of experience with this too.
Okay, so the Eucharist, during the Last Supper, when Jesus was having his Last Supper with his 12 followers, his disciples, I think he knew, he was like, I'm gonna die soon and whatever, so it's our Last Supper. He did something called the Eucharist, so he basically gave them bread and wine and said that, that's his body and blood.
Wine was his blood, yeah.
And it was kind of his way of saying, okay, after I die, you can still celebrate me, or I can still be present in the form of the Eucharist. So it was kind of like a symbolic gesture. So when you go to Mass, they have a flat disc or bread.
It's like a wafer, right?
Yeah, it tastes like cardboard.
It does.
I've
It's
never had
horrible.
one.
It's
And
horrible.
they break it up, and they
I always wanted one.
They have the
We can probably buy them.
Oh, let's do it.
yeah, you can.
You can get them,
Yeah.
not
Let
blessed.
us know if you want us to
Yeah.
baptize you on Patreon.
It's like a U line for church supplies.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe next episode we'll sit and eat some hosts that are not blessed.
That's so
But
good.
during the Mass, they reenact that. So they have the bread and they have the wine, and after it's blessed, it becomes the blood of Jesus and the body, and everyone partakes in eating it.
Cannibalism.
So it's
Yes.
it's like symbolic cannibalism.
Yeah. Wow.
So she defied orders from her religious superiors to eat, claiming she was too ill to do so. In the month before that she died, at the age of 33, she lost the use of her legs and the ability to swallow. So, in addition to restricting her food intake, Catherine was known to use insert sticks into her throat in order to activate her gag reflex and induce vomiting, as someone with bulimia nervosa would do.
Wow.
So, there are some images in this book of
Yes.
Holy Anorexia of Catherine of Siena. The first one is a portrait of her. It's by one of her contemporaries. The saint allows a devotee to kiss her hand, betraying the sin of vainglory that troubled her throughout life. So you have Catherine of Siena. She's holding what looks like
A branch,
a branch
with flowers.
and there's a woman in the corner looking up and just kind of
Yeah, yes.
kissing.
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube,
So
you
Like
would
very
see,
gently.
So is Saint Catherine putting her fingers in the mouth of this woman?
She probably would have.
bleh, kiss my fingers.
Kiss my fingers.
There's also an image of Catherine of Siena as she receives a habit from Saint Dominic as Saint Francis and Augustine look on. Their offers rejected.
Yeah.
So the only thing she was eating was the Eucharist.
And then the really bizarre one that I found was, this is actually Mark's picture when he calls.
Yes, we've decided.
So it says, Catherine of Siena attempts to obliterate her bodily senses by drinking. Mark, can you tell us what it is?
Oh, yes. By drinking a cup of pus, she has squeezed from the cancerous breast sores of a sick
An ungrateful
and
woman
ungrateful woman
that she's tending to.
Yeah, that is correct.
And it's her, in all white, holding a cup.
Yeah, she's
And
holding.
there's white all around her, and there's an old lady in bed, reaching up to her.
Oh yeah, she's reaching.
I see
Oh
it
yeah,
now. So-
and Catherine looks very displeased
So
with
wait,
her.
Is it? So this is factual. So she.
Yes,
So
there-
Saint Catherine factually went to a woman. Did they know what cancer was back then?
Probably not. I don't
Yeah, I don't know. Catherine of Siena is actually one of the most documented. They found about 400 letters, correspondence between her and kings and queens.
Wow.
So she is very well documented.
So basically, she squeezed pus from a woman's breast,
Her
who was
cancerous
sick,
breast,
Yes.
yeah.
and then she would ingest it.
Yes. And that I think is also part, it ties into the weird eating disorder.
Yeah.
It's almost like a way of keeping her from eating.
What was okay? I was going to ask, what was the purpose of that?
I mean, the purpose of that was, I think, part of her miraculous abilities, and that she was maybe going to heal this
Yeah,
sick
it was
person.
like for like a healing purposes.
Yeah, but I think the implication is that it just connects to eating disorder. Like,
She sounds fucking dirty.
oh yeah, well,
And nasty.
nasty ass Catherine.
Well, exactly.
Are people named Catherine who come from religious families named after this saint?
I hope
Probably.
not.
I have a feeling that's the case.
But this picture of Catherine of Siena holding
The pus cup.
yes is now Mark's picture when he calls me.
Pus cup.
That's Jen and I. I'm the cup.
And I'm the old lady.
Yes. I mean, and the old woman in the photo, I mean, the depiction of the old woman who has cancer is very witch-like.
Yeah.
She's got like
Hansel
a
and Gretel.
little
Like,
witch.
yeah,
She's got the
legit.
witch nose in the picture.
Yeah, she's like an old-timey depiction of a witch, and Catherine just looks very displeased with the cancer witch. Yeah. Now, there was another one, and we're just going to give you a few examples.
Yeah.
We're not going to like bore everybody to death, but I do
Yeah.
encourage you
Examples are
all, to look.
Tell us more.
To purchase the book of Holy Anorexia.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe Rudolph M. Bell, he works at Rutgers University in New Jersey.
Hey, Rudolph.
Hey, Rudolph. So
we
why
have-
don't you tell us about the rest of our examples
Okay,
here?
so we have two. We have Angela of Foligno, who was known to eat the scabs of the poor.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, she would rip off the scabs and eat them and offer them as like a sacrament to God or some shit.
So she would like go up to a poor person and rip their skin
Essentially.
and then eat it.
Yeah.
And then we also have Marie of, and I'm going to butcher this,
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Ognies.
That's it. I think that's probably the best that any of us would ever hope to get.
So from 1167 to 1213, reportedly lived as a hermit and wore only white, cut off pieces of her body to expunge her desire. And both she and Beatrice of Nazareth claimed that not only did the smell of meat make them vomit, but also that the slightest whiff of food would cause their throats to close up entirely. Now, listen, I'll tell you right now. So I had a
Tell
really
us.
bad migraine yesterday. And when I get migraines, like, I throw up. Okay? Sorry, Uncle Doug, Aunt Harry, whoever is listening.
That's a thing.
So Jerry, God love him, comes up with soup for me and all of this
Joe.
stuff. And I'm like, you didn't have to come up. You didn't have to do this. He's like, Jen, you're going to be my wife. Like, of course I'm going to come up. So anyway, I'm like, I can't eat. I can't eat. No. And just like the fucking smell of the soup. I love matzo ball soup. Listen,
Yeah.
I love a good matzo ball soup.
Yeah.
But like, as I'm like eating it, he's like, eat. I'm like, "Ugh," and I'm crying. I'm like,
Like
I'm
Gypsy
gonna throw
Rose.
up. I'm gonna throw up. And then what happened? I went and threw up. So I can relate to Marie
Yeah.
and
yeah.
Beatrice.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, out of all of these things, you know, I'm sure there probably are some of them who are just like, maybe like, "Ugh, I don't like that very much.
Yeah.
Maybe they were vegetarians.
So many of these women, they felt that they possessed at least some measure of spiritual enlightenment from their asceticism. They variously said that they felt inebriation with the sacramental wine, hunger for God, and conversely, that they sat at the delicious banquet of God.
Oh, I love it. So good.
So
Yummy.
it's kind of like what you said earlier about like the bread and the wine, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting with God. We also have Margaret of Cortona, which I believe there's some images of her in this book too that I saw, but she believed that she had extended communications with God himself. Columba of Reti believed her spirit tortured the Holy Land in visions. And virtually every one of these women was apparently possessed of some level of psychic powers.
Oh, wow.
Well, when I was in college, there was this student and she was completely batshit crazy. She said to a bunch of us that Jesus or God had spoken to her via instant messenger. And she was a closeted lesbian, and she had a lot of those sort of issues.
Yeah.
When she was on AOL, God had instant messaged her to tell her that she was going to be living a life in sin, and she became a nun.
So it's funny that you say this because these
Fucking nut.
women's their exercises in self-denial and suffering did yield them a measure of fame and notoriety.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like they must have some sort of denial or something about themselves that they don't like or they don't want to. What am I saying?
Yeah,
Like,
Lesbian.
Yeah, well,
lesbian.
Well,
Exactly.
bunch of les.
no,
leses.
There's people that there's things about themselves that they don't like, and they like find a way to put like a facade in front of that.
Absolutely. And I think you bring up a very good point, because it is also well documented in the book and different articles that you can find, where a lot of these women, I think like Catherine of Siena, or one of them, they essentially didn't want to go into an arranged marriage. There were different things that were being set up for them in that time as women. I mean, look at all the issues with women's rights even now. So you can only imagine.
Women
and
had
fucking
absolutely no fucking rights back then.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, we're still fighting for abortion rights. So like, can you fucking imagine what it must have been like? So, and I know a lot of this stuff connects to disorders like anorexia nervosa, which is not associated with religious fucking craze shit. But, they kind of do draw those parallels where these are women who were faced with very severe things and they didn't want to marry certain people they were trying to be passed off with.
Of course.
So
this kind of like rebellion like act is like picture like, the fucking pussycat hats, but like in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Fucking Women's March of the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Why are they eating a bunch of scabs?
I know.
Well, come on. Like, that's bizarre.
I think but that also
really
ties
bizarre.
into like, it's all connected somehow, and how like with Catherine of Siena, there's an image that mentions vainglory.
Yeah.
Or something like
What's
that.
But they also said too that they were able to like make feasts of crumbs, exude oil from their fingertips.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else? Heal with their saliva.
Yeah.
Fill barrels with drink out of thin air and lactate even through virginal and malnourished and
Perform other miracles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the practice of anorexia mirabilis faded out during the Renaissance.
which is the rebirth.
Oh, yes. We love a rebirth moment.
Because that's kind of like the Renaissance is when like we come out of the Dark Ages, and that's when people start to kind of like
Use common sense.
exactly.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. It faded out during the Renaissance when it began to be seen by the church as heretical, socially dangerous, or possibly even satanically inspired. It managed to survive in practice until nearly the 20th century, when it was overtaken by its more popular known counterpart, anorexia nervosa, which is what, the medical, I guess, definition.
Yeah, it's the medical term.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then how did it translate to society like after
the saints
the
are
saints?
known?
So once we go away from the church,
Yes.
right?
Yes, exactly.
A fasting girl was one of the number of young Victorian era girls. They usually were pre-adolescent and claimed to be able to survive over indefinitely long periods of time without consuming any food or other nourishment. In addition to refusing food, fasting girls claimed to have special religious or magical powers. Also, they were the ones that were like kind of, what did you call it?
Like a corset?
A corset, yes.
Yeah.
They would be like kind of like fastened into corsets.
Yeah, like Titanic, like Rose.
Like Rose,
So
exactly.
tiny waists.
Tiny waists.
So there were many examples, over time of people who essentially were like, oh, well, there are these people that are revered and holy and, miraculous and divine. So I think this affected people in the sense of like how like Kate Moss affected people.
Well, yeah, heroin chic. Like
Exactly.
That whole movement.
Bring that
Yeah.
back. I love the heroin chic look. I know. I love body.
Unpopular opinion.
I
Yes.
love body positivity, but there's
bring back the 90s.
There is something that is kind of eye catching and appealing about that gaunt,
Yes.
like Lanvin.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? I was
It's a
like,
market.
Heroin chic.
my mom did not know heroin chic was
I
like
remember you said that,
was.
like a thing.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, really? Like,
I want to look heroin chic without the heroin.
Yeah.
You just want to look chic.
I want to look chic, but like I'm on heroin.
So, all right, let's get into some
Instead
just.
of heroin, it's diamonds.
Oh,
so
diamonds.
you also
I'm gonna get
have
canceled real fast.
Oh,
I'm sorry. You might have
This
to
will
edit
be the
some of
one
this
that
out.
cancels
yeah.
us.
So you also have Mary J. Fancher. Or, let's say that again.
Fancher?
You also have Mary J. or Molly, as she was called, Fancher, from 1848 to 1916, otherwise
Oh,
known
she's more contemporary.
Yeah.
as the Brooklyn Enigma.
Yes,
She
Brooklyn
was
Enigma.
Extremely well known for her claim of not eating or eating very little for extended periods of time. And then a case that led to a death and arrest was of Sarah Jacob. She was born in 1857 and died in 1869. She was the Welsh fasting girl who claimed not to have eaten any food at all after the age of
I
10.
was about to say she was only 12 when she died.
So after the age of 10, a local vicar, who's a priest, for those of you who don't know, initially skeptical, became convinced that the case was authentic, and she enjoyed a long period of publicity during which she received numerous gifts and donations from people who believed she was miraculous.
Yeah.
And then
Hopefully it was food.
Yeah.
right?
Then we have a case from New Jersey.
New Jersey represents
Yeah. Mark's excited. Look.
Lenora Eaton in 1881. Hot for 1881. So, reputable citizens in her town promoted her as someone who had lived without eating. And during these times, Eaton was marked as a special person and symbol of faith in the miraculous. When these claims were investigated and doctors were sent to help her, Eaton continued to refuse to eat and died after 45 days.
How funny that her last name was Eaton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just wanted to basically provide this very bizarre look into something that is very well known. I mean, when you think of something very surface based, right? Where, people suffer from eating disorders all the time. And something that Mark and I always talk about is that everything kind of somehow connects back to religion.
It always does,
It
and it
really-
always will.
Everything negative.
Yes, thank you.
Connects back to
Thank
religion.
you. Everything negative does always connect back
to religion.
to religion, absolutely. Whereas, these behaviors, which are people who need treatment or people who needed some kind of help, somehow becomes you're this holy divine figure, and it's okay to drain a cancerous breast from a woman and drink it and eat scabs, and you're fine because I don't know why you're fine, but you're fine apparently.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think there are many interesting aspects to this. And I mean, really just drinking cancer pus. I mean, that's weird.
But don't go do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Please don't be Catherine
Don't
of
rip
Siena.
scabs off of people.
Don't be a Catherine of Siena.
No.
Don't be a Mary of Cortona.
No, none of
Please
them.
don't be a Lenora Eaton.
Yeah,
Don't be,
absolutely.
who's the old broad? Don't be a Mother Teresa.
None of them.
No.
She was crusty. She was a terrible person.
Well, most of the honestly,
She was really.
I'm sorry to say it, but most of
don't
these
care.
holy figures were not the greatest.
Listen, just
terrible.
don't do anything to harm yourself
Yeah, or others.
or others.
Side note with the whole Eucharist jazz. So at church when they do the blood, the bread and wine or whatever, everyone is fucking drinking from the same cup.
COVID-19.
1800s edition.
Yeah, they have a fancy little towel that they wipe, but that doesn't get rid of the germs.
Well, the other thing
No.
too is you see people will take the host and dump it into the wine, but still people are fucking drinking from it.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
So-
if you have let's just say there's 100
Yeah.
people in the church. If one person's sick, now all 100 people are going to get
exactly.
sick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enough with the damn.
Enough with the fucking
So,
shit.
I mean, what is your personal takeaway from this? I mean, are you surprised to hear about some of these odd things?
No, I'm
or
not surprised at all.
Yeah,
Because I think a lot of things stem from religion.
yeah. And what's so fascinating to me too, I mean, obviously, don't need to say it again, we're not religious, but it's fascinating because there are many things that these saints did that were actually frowned upon,
Yeah.
you know, even from the church, yet they were still sainted or canonized or whatever the
Right.
terminology is, you know. So it's just very, I don't know.
You know what's weird? They say that one of the signs that you're a saint is if your body doesn't decompose.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if they,
Yeah.
so if your body doesn't decompose,
Wow. Well,
you are
That's
a
me.
saint.
yeah, yes, that is.
What do they dig them up and like? Oh, it's been 12 years. Let's see him.
Wow.
Gertrude is a
Impressive.
skeleton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and another weird fact too. So every church has like an altar, and normally inside of the altar there will be a relic that belonged to a saint. It could be something like a tooth, a piece of their hair, a piece of bone
A
fragment,
scab,
A scab, probably.
It could
Yeah.
be.
pus.
Pus, absolutely.
So if you ever see a priest like kiss the altar, they're normally kissing the area where that relic is.
Can we go to the one that has something from Catherine and we can worship there?
We'll go. Well, yeah, let's go look it up and find out where in
Yeah.
the world that is.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere in Italy.
Probably, right? Yeah.
Catherine of Siena. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Oh.
book also looks like something that like one would use with like writing like their like thesis.
Yes.
Like in grad school or doing some like, you know, research for their PhD.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. So, yeah, I mean, I hope, you know, part of your takeaway is that, you know, every terrible thing has existed for so long, and something called holy anorexia or anorexia mirabilis can be connected to what we consider your regular modern day eating disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the saints had eating disorders. Fun facts.
Fun facts.
Enjoy. Well, is there anything else that we need to add? We would like to add?
I would like to add that you need to follow us on Instagram at Bizarre
Yeah.
Buffet,
Fuck yeah.
Facebook at Bizarre Buffet,
Yes,
and if you
please.
are inclined to give us a little donation,
Just as
Need
the
some
church
money.
would ask
Just as
for.
the church would ask
Yeah.
for.
You
You
should
can
tithe.
follow
You
us-
tithe, yeah.
Follow us on
Please do.
patreon.com/Bizarre Buffet for some fun content.
Oh my God, so fun.
We expect you to provide us with 20% of your income.
Yes,
Yes.
20, because we're more religious and we're not eating scabs.
No,
Not today.
not today, Satan.
Yeah, not today, Satan.
Also, we do have a YouTube channel.
We do,
so
for those of you listening.
so
So you can actually see
record.
our brides' beaches,
Fucking
Brides,
yeah.
they just-
cups.
Oh, coming
all
soon,
of our
bitch.
engagement rings.
Fuck yeah. Shut up. We're here. We're here. We're queer.
and ready to cheer.
Oh God, Catherine of Siena, bless you.
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess with all of that being said, support us, love us. We love you.
Yeah.
God bless. May Catherine of Siena be with you always. Don't let your breasts be exposed near her.
And until next time.
Yeah, and until next time, I am the cancerous breast that Catherine of Siena squeezed.
And I am an eaten scab.
Oh my God, so good.
And I'm a undecomposed body.
You're a saint. Oh
You're
my
a
God.
saint. Oh, we knew it. We knew there had to be something. Well,
Bye,
all right, bye,
everybody.
kids.
Bye, everyone.
Happy New
Bye.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Don't eat scabs.